Mr. Arteta, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing very well. Good to hear from you. Can I call you Mikel? Good, glad to hear. So, thank you first off for choosing ASMR Scouting Solutions for your scouting needs. I know you wanted to keep this on the down low, as it were, for new players you're looking at, and don't worry, discretion is our first port of call. We work for some other clients within the Premier League, full disclosure, but let us know that we will do whatever we think is best for you. We have extensive scouting network. We have some of the best analytical and statistic departments in the game worldwide right now. So you've come to the right place. I know I don't really have to sell this to you, but it's good to see you now. First off, I hope you're doing well. I know the season's been a tough one for you. I know you're keen to move on, right? But I also know that you need to get in some players, as you've kind of told me already in our kind of preliminary emails. And funds are limited right now, so without big players leaving or players leaving to kind of return those funds, you're kind of looking more for I don't want to say bargains, but shall we say some better value players than the kind of global superstars that a lot of clubs who buy ready-made kind of players will get. So we've put together a transfer showcase, which we'll go through in a bit, of some players who I think would really fit in quite well for you. But first off, I just wanted to get a feel for how you think your season's gone, how well you think Arsenal have done, and do you feel happy there right now? Yeah. Okay. Because I mean, we do also offer obviously our services to people such as yourself, managers who might be looking for a new club, but you're committed, you say. Yeah, sure. I mean, of course, you never know what is around the corner, do you? You never know who's going to be fired from one day to the next. Sorry, let go of. Yes. Okay. So yeah, and yeah, finishing 8th, that wasn't ideal, was it? No. FA Cup final coming up though, yeah. So hopefully, I know that might change things a little bit for you, but how do you feel about that? Yeah. Realistically, Europa League's not going to bring in a huge amount of money for you. The Champions League was really what you were hoping for, yeah. But it's tough out there. The competition is right, and that 1% margin can make all the difference, and that's why you come to a company like us, because I think we can provide that to you with some players who we feel will suit the style of football you play, who will suit the club. We've done extensive research in their personalities, their personal lives, their social lives, and we think that they will be great fits in your club. I know. All fans want to see the big signings, don't they? They get linked to them, they get excited, but sometimes it's the players who are perhaps not the most widely known right now, but you can mould them into something, and that's what you're keen on, right? That's what you said. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you haven't got the funds of Man City from when you were there, but yeah, you know that you want to build up players and have them come over. Yeah, of course. So you have to excuse me. I think it's one of our private jets just going on now. Helicopter. Yeah, I think that's somebody just got back from Dortmund. So interesting. Don't want to say too much about that, but let's just say a young English player might be on the move. Anyway, yeah. So if I share my screen with you, then I guess we can get on with it, and yeah, hopefully you'll like what we've got to show you right now. Okay, just bear with me one moment. Okay, Mikel, so this should be on your screen right now. Once again, thank you for using Asmrplays Scouting Services. I've put together this transfer showcase for you of some talent which we think would suit the Arsenal first team. Let's go through now what your requirements are. So the areas of improvement that you wanted: central defence, we've spoken about that already, creative midfielder, attacking winger, and a possible striker. Now, unfortunately, as you've kind of mentioned before, your transfer budget is minimal. However, the club is working on player sales, and I don't know if you know, but we do offer a player sales service if it is something that you would be interested in. We do offer small commission-based sales, and basically if we don't sell the player, there's no fee, so we can offer that service to you. Just get in contact with my secretary like before, and we'll see if we can set something up for you. So let's talk about central defence. You kind of said earlier that you weren't happy with your central defence, is that right? Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of goals have been conceded poorly this season. You have players who are prone to mistakes, but yeah, as you said, you want to play that passing mentality out of defence, don't you? And sometimes that might lead to the mistake, but ultimately it's your philosophy, right? Yeah, sure. So I think what we put together is 3 defenders who we feel fit with that philosophy. They're young, they're strong, they pass well. Maybe in the past some errors have been made, but we think they fit within your budget, and you know, with what we're working with, we can't get a Virgil van Dijk, you know this. But what you could do is perhaps create the next Van Dijk, and I think that's what you're looking for, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I will let you know if Van Dijk comes on the market, of course. We don't think that's going to be happening, though. And then creative midfielder. So, yeah, I know you've been looking for this season. You felt that this is where you struggled. Yeah, we've looked at your attack, and it is obviously very strong. However, as you said, there is a issue with the creative side a little bit. And I know you've got some young players coming through. Smith Rowe, we've spoke about on the last call, who's done very well at Huddersfield this season. But you feel like maybe you need to bring somebody in there who, yeah, potentially is going to push you up a level, but still within your budget and still young. So we've got a couple of examples which you might be interested in. You've looked at an attacking winger, and a possible striker. We've kind of looked at this, and it just kind of fits in with the creative midfielder side. So we've got some options here for you. I know winger is not necessarily something which you feel you need right now. Pepe, Saka, you know, Martinelli, Aubameyang, Nketiah. There's options at your club, obviously, all great players, but we know that yeah, the Aubameyang situation. Yeah, how is that going at the minute? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Not easy. Not an easy situation. I mean, what's your preferred outcome? Is it to sell, or is it to try and keep him on a new contract? Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a wise decision, I think. And I mean, what do you think if he doesn't sign that contract and you've got 1 year left? What do you think then? You don't want to talk about that. Okay. All right. No, that's totally fair. Okay. Well, let's get into the players and see what we've done. Now, all these players that we've looked at here, we've made some inquiries and they're all available. So we think the fees are going to be within your budget. Now, they're not superstars, we don't have massive names here, but you've said yourself that you don't think the club is going to be able to afford to spend a huge amount, but you need to bring in players to compete next season. I mean, Champions League next season is what you want, right? Yeah. And again, some of these players are dependent upon certain criteria, but we'll get into that as we go through. So let's look at the first player. So this one I think fits in quite well with your philosophy. MALANG SARR, just 21 years old. He made already 102 appearances for Nice in the French Ligue 1. He's a central but left-sided defender. Has played at left back, but it's probably not ideal. 6 foot tall. 8 appearances for the French under-21s, very highly rated. And I mean, the key thing here, which I think you're going to love, is he is a free transfer right now. He's out of contract with Nice, and he is available to be picked up. Wages-wise, we don't think it's going to be too high either. This one definitely is a potential. He's not the ready-made product coming in. He's strong. He's a very good passer of the ball, which I know is something you won't compromise on in your central defenders. But he's not the finished article, and that's important to remember. We do think, though, that he is going to be a cracking defender. And as I said, it's not much of a risk when you're picking him up on a free transfer. I've sent you the highlights package, which we put together separately. I think you'll like it. What's your thoughts on MALANG? Yeah, no, I mean, we've spoken to the lad. He's a great character. He's a real family guy. Yeah, he's really committed and really wants to move to England, to the Premier League. That's his ideal destination. There are some other clubs sniffing around him. We've got to warn you about that. I spoke to his agent just the other day, and he said he was inundated with calls about this lad, but agents, that's what they do, isn't it? So yeah, very interesting opportunity for this guy, but you've got to act quick on this one. I think you've got to really go to the board and push this one, because as I said, he's going to get snapped up, and that's potentially something which you do well. And I mean, the added advantage to him as well is obviously natively French, although he can also qualify for the Senegalese team. So fitting in well with Saliba, who obviously you've got coming in, William. There's the potential there that good teammate, good roommate as well on away games, things like that. They could get on pretty well. So yeah, I think that's a really good opportunity there for you to kind of pick up on. What's your thoughts? Yeah, you're interested. Okay, cool. We'll put the pieces in place for this one, and I'll speak to his agent about that, and yeah, see where we go from there. Okay. Next up, we've got John Stones. Now, I know this is a guy you're very familiar with from your time at City, Mikel, but he He's obviously a very experienced Premier League defender, but only 26 years old. He's tall, 6'2", plays more on the right-sided side of defence, and obviously, internationally very experienced as well. Played in the World Cup for England. You know as much about his strengths and weaknesses as we do. You've coached him, so you know he's a great passer. He defensively can be prone to some errors, as we've seen, but we think, I don't know how you feel about this, but we think that alongside a strong defender, he will be an absolute gem of a player in there. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't pair him with David Luiz, as you say, but yeah, we think he could be a quality player. And I mean, you have strong links to City. We think a fee of about 20 million would be possible. Now, we know that City are not great fans of Arsenal since your move, and even before then. So we think that kind of frosty atmosphere could push the price up a bit. But we're hoping that maybe some of your contacts in the club, we can do a good deal there. City need to sell him. He's only played a very limited number of games this season, and frankly, if it wasn't for injury to Laporte, then he would probably have played even less. So we've got to bear that in mind. But yeah, we think he could be a real option. English as well, which I know is an advantage, especially if you're looking to push into Europe. And we really think he can go on and be a great player. He's coming into his prime now. So yeah, that's up to you. What's your thoughts on that one? Yeah, he has got a good attitude. You're right. Yeah, he's a humble lad, and he wants to get better. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes they do get isolated defenders at City, and it can be a tough job. You're a lot more playing kind of one-on-one against strikers rather than as a defensive unit. So yeah, you think he could be okay. Okay. Once again, we'll put measures in place. As I said, we don't know with the frostiness of how City work whether or not he's going to be there available, but we'll see. Okay. Next up, and this is an interesting one. I'm sure you've heard of this young lad, Ben White, 22 years old, central defender, been making waves in the Championship, and yeah, 6 foot tall. So he's on loan at Leeds United for the season. Played 49 times. Was really pivotal in their promotion. In them winning the league. Really great passer. He's had over 85% pass completion rate. Very strong tackler. Some possible weakness aerially, but it's he's 22. He can learn. He can improve. The fee is one which we think could be an issue for you guys. Brighton are obviously very keen to keep hold of him. Leeds are also interested in taking him potentially on loan again. We're not sure Brighton want to sell, but they also do want to do a rebuild or get some money in themselves. So we feel like a fee of around 30 million with possible add-ons could be enough to tempt him away. How do you feel about that? Yeah. No, I mean, it is a lot for a Championship defender. You're right. You're absolutely right. But yeah, we think he could be the next Rio Ferdinand. Honestly, he's great. As you say, English, young, real. Played a full season. Really shown great leadership skills. Yeah. You've seen him play. Yeah, you like him. Yeah, as I said, I think it's the fee or the possibility of Brighton being a little reluctant to sell, but if you can unlock that potential money through sales, then we think he would be a really star signing for you in defence. And yeah, potentially, for many, many years to come. I don't want to say the next Tony Adams, but who knows? Yeah, you want us to get moving on that? Yeah, no, I get the money side. We can put feelers out and get an idea of what Brighton are looking for and how close this Leeds deal is, and then you can kind of see. I don't know about swap signings. We can inquire with Brighton, see if there's anybody they are interested in from the side. I know you don't particularly want to lose some of the youngsters or the talented, but we both know that the defence is something you've really prioritising this pre-season, so we'll see how that goes, shall we? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Next up, we have EBERECHI Easy, another championship player, 22 years old, attacking midfielder, really can play across, whether it's left, right, centrally, but has been used more centrally than this season than on the wings. 48 appearances for QPR this season, 14 goals and 8 assists, which is a great return in what has been a team that has struggled. Very strong dribbler, great set pieces as well. He'll add that flair. He's that number 10 for you, that link between the midfield and the attack. Dare I say the Mesut Ozil role? Too soon. Okay, yeah, sure, I get it. He is a real up and coming midfielder. We know that other Premier League clubs are interested in him. West Ham are keen, but we really think he could do a great job at Arsenal. What are your thoughts? Yeah, you've not seen much of him, but you have heard of him. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say he's gone under the radar, but QPR are not a fashionable club, so he has kind of, been floating around, but we follow all the leagues. We've got scouts everywhere, so we've been following this kid for a long time. Great attitude as well, real flair player, great vision. Of course, defensively, he needs to work on that side of it. But he's an attacking midfielder. That's not necessarily been his role. We think the fee could be around 20 million. We think also that potentially we could get that down to 15 with some add-ons, depending on appearances. How does that sound? Yeah, that's workable. Okay, good. Yeah, excellent. Okay, well, that's really interesting. I like that. Okay, we'll inquire. As I said, we'll find out how rock solid these other, rumored bids are from some of the other Premier League sides, and we'll inquire. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I know attitude is really important, but yeah, we've studied that. He's a good kid. He really wants a Premier League move. He does enjoy his time at QPR, but he knows that it's a club which ultimately kind of needs to sell. London boy, so he's not going to be moving far. He's not going to be homesick. His family are all nearby, so yeah, we think it would be a really good move, really strong move for him to move to Arsenal, but. And he's keen as well. We know that. He's keen on London clubs. I think Crystal Palace have been involved as well, but we all know they never make a bid for anyone, so I don't think you have to worry there. But yeah, West Ham. But we think the West Ham deal is a little bit dependent upon whether they can sell Anderson and Lanzini potentially. We know they're looking to kind of rebuild, and those players haven't impressed. So. Yeah, no, we don't think they're going cheap. There's probably not a deal there. We don't think they've impressed enough for us to recommend them to you. But we do know that West Ham are looking to sell those players, so we'll see where we go from there. Cool. Next up, we've got David Brooks, I know you've obviously heard of this kid. Yeah, 23 attacking midfielder, but only 9 appearances due to a long-term injury. Really good passer, great dribbler, really good vision as well. Again, slightly weak defensively, but really puts in a shift. The injury thing, though, yeah, we know. But I mean, this is where I think the difference. You know, if we didn't have that injury, we'd be looking at 50 million plus for this player, and you know, this is where we can come in. We haven't had our own medical experts examine David. We're relying on what we've heard, and from what we've heard, he's made a good recovery from the injury, and he's played the last few games for Bournemouth this season. And from what we've heard, he is going to be fine. They don't think it's something which is going to potentially flare up a lot, but there's always that potential. Yeah, no, we don't want another Jack Wilshere either. Believe me, that's not good for business. But yeah, we think at 20 million, if Easy doesn't attract you, you know, this kid is Premier League proven. He's been there. Sorry, my phone just went off. Okay, apparently, yeah, strong bids in for Brooks potentially already. From some other Premier League clubs. I can't quite say who yet because of a conflict of interest, but yeah, you're going to have to move fast on this one potentially as well. Obviously, full medical, you know, we'll let you know, but we think 20 million will release him from Bournemouth. I think they are, from what, when I've spoken to some of our sources at the club, they've said that finances wise they need to sell. We know Aki's going, and yeah, yeah, you were going to ask about him, yeah. Well, see, Aki is a really good defender, and we think he would do well with you. But from what we've heard, the reason we didn't put him up is that Man City are a strong contender for him. Another reason why we think Stones is going to be a good price to leave. And we think the fee is going to be rather large as well, probably 60 million plus. We think for Aki, yeah, no, he is a great player, yeah. I don't think that was in your budget though, was it? 60 million? No, okay, yeah. Interesting. Okay, what's your thoughts on Brooks? Yeah. I mean, you know, it is a tough one. We get it. You know, I put him in here as a kind of wild card. We think that he potentially, you know, could go on to be, you know, one of the great Premier League attacking midfielders. But yeah, that was a long injury he was out for. So it's a gamble. But you know, when you're in a position where you need, you know, to bring in players and you can't afford to spend too much, you sometimes have to take a gamble, don't you? And I think, you know, you've said before you would rather gamble on a Premier League player or Championship player than you would perhaps on a player from a European or even like South American league. Yeah, great temperament on the lad, as you say. So yeah, we think he could be really good for Arsenal. We think he'd fit in really well. The next Ramsey, potentially, yeah. So, yeah, too soon. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. Next up, we have Ollie Watkins. Now, I know you said about the striker was a possibility. You were interested because of the Pierre situation, right? Yeah. So we brought up Ollie. Now, strikers, as you know, they're expensive. Here you don't get too many of them to the pound, do you? For you know, cheapness wise, what you can get a great defender for is going to get you an average striker. But we think this kid is somebody who is a proven goal scorer, and we totally believe he can take the step up from the Championship to the Premier League. So he's 24 years old. Obviously striker. He can play on the left or right, but primarily of the 48 appearances he's made, it has been centrally this season. 25 goals is the headline there, 3 assists, a real strong finisher, but good passing ability as well. Brentford do like to play the ball around, and yeah, they've done well. Now, yeah, this is where it comes in. So the availability is completely dependent on Brentford's playoff performance. So, that we know they're already, losing the first leg. If they go out, we think we can get him. We think the fee will be around 30 million. It's not cheap, but I think for a player who could be a top striker in the Premier League, that could turn out to be a bargain. English as well. There's always a tax on that, as you know. So, yeah, we think he could be, but obviously very dependent upon Brentford's playoff performance. If they get promoted, we don't think he's going anywhere. Understandably, kind of a Jack Grealish situation there. Yeah. No, we don't think you'll be able to afford him. No, sorry. But yeah, 30 million, we think could be a good price for the lad. What's your thoughts? Yeah, you're keen on him. Yeah. But if Pierre leaves, yeah. I know you've obviously got Laka, you've got Martinelli, you've got Nketiah. Lacazette's finished, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've noticed a downturn, but yeah, you're looking to potentially sell Lacazette as well. Yeah, we've got some interest from France. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see. That he could be a great replacement for Lacazette. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, cool. Okay. No, that sounds really good. I'm really pleased that you've been happy with our transfer showcase. Yeah, we'll press ahead with these players and get some more info for you. And obviously, if situations change, just let us know. We can, if Mr. Kroenke wants to put some more money in, then we've got a more elite package we can show you. Doesn't seem likely. Okay, all right. Okay, well, no problem. As I said, it's been great talking to you. Yeah, let us know as well about the Ozil situation. I know you're looking to kind of move him on. Yeah, you don't want to talk about it. Okay, all right. Well, thanks a lot, Mikel, and we'll speak to you soon. Okay, bye now. Bye.